It's called Haarp, okay? And that's right, it's not the kind that angels play, Al. Okay, it's a different kind. It's a technological one. Let's take a look at this new Haarp technology on the planet.
Haarp is comprised of 180 antennas, approximately 72 feet tall, linked together to function as one giant steerable antenna. Steerable because it can aim millions of watts of ELF waves into one tiny patch of the atmosphere.
The amount of energy we're talking about here is 3.6 million watts. To give you an idea of what that is, the largest legal AM radio station in North America is 50,000 watts. Haarp is 72,000 50,000 watt radio stations injecting their entire output into a spot that's about 12 miles across by about 2.5 miles deep by about 90 miles up.
This is where Haarp is pointing. It's an area located roughly 300 miles from Anchorage. The intense energy being beamed into the sky by Haarp is actually heating up the atmosphere, causing weather changes.
Haarp is being used for weather modification. The military's own record proves it. They've admitted it within their own documents.
Haarp is one of several ELF wave transmitters located all over the globe. The United States owns and operates 3 of them. One in Gacona, Alaska, another in Fairbanks, Alaska, and one in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Russia has one in Vasilursky near Nizhny Novgorod, and the European Union has one near Tromsø in Norway. Working in tandem, these transmitters could potentially alter the weather anywhere in the world, changing the jet stream's course entirely, triggering massive rainstorms or droughts. Even hurricane steering would be possible by heating up the atmosphere and building up high-pressure domes that could deflect or change the course of hurricanes. Dr. Agnew experienced the power of ELF waves firsthand back in the 1980s. He was hired by an energy company to locate oil and gas using the same kind of ELF waves at much lower frequencies to carry out his search. It's a process called Earth tomography. But during one particular incident, Dr. Agnew believes his use of Haarp-like ELF waves accidentally triggered an earthquake.
It was in the spring of 1987 we arrived in Roseburg, Oregon to use our ELF technology to search for oil and gas. Setting up that day, we had a little bit different results than we expected because the instant that we energized it, there was between a 4 and 4.5 on the Richter scale earthquake that occurred.
There are reportedly a total of 5 known ionospheric heaters, including Haarp, in the world today. There are possibly 20 other ionospheric heaters in existence all over the world.
But one thing that they left out, what was interesting about this technology, is believe it or not, this same technology could be used to create what's called a death ray, okay, that can be beamed up into the atmosphere, travel along the ionosphere, and come back down from the atmosphere to an intended target anywhere in the world. And I quote, Haarp technology can create an energy that can discharge back down the radio beam and strike the Earth, listen, with a lightning bolt that is 100 times greater than any lightning bolt imaginable. And it will not strike one time, but rather 30 to 40 times per second until all the energy is discharged. And when it strikes the ground, it will vaporize the ground, water, or whatever it happens to hit, listen, like 3 or 4 Mount St. Helens volcanoes going off each second that bolt is discharging. But that's still not all. There's also one other interesting side effect that this Haarp technology can do. And for some strange reason, it has these weird adverse effects on the human brain. That's going to come in handy. Let's take a look at that one too.
Jean Manning is a journalist who stumbled into a strange world when she started asking questions about alternative energy sources and heard the story of an early 20th century inventor named Nikola Tesla.
Tesla is almost a cult hero and an overlooked genius, and he has so many inventions that are at the basis of technologies that we have today. Tesla talked about this Tesla shield around the planet and talked about particle beam weaponry, something called a death ray.
Death ray? Jean wasn't sure where all this was leading until Mr. X called again.
And he said, the maniacs are actually going to do it up in Alaska.
Zap, incoming missiles. disrupt global communications, and engineer the weather. And ready? There's one more. Some people believe the technology being tested here could be used for sinister projects involving humans. Radio waves messing around with people's brain waves.
The human mind is subject to being affected by radio frequency energy, and that's what this device is.
In other words, you can move the moods of large populations using this kind of technology. The question is, could they, would they? And we believe they can, and we believe they will. Somewhere at some point, all of this technology merges at some level within the Pentagon, and it happens to be in Alaska, and it happens to be now.